Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mount Vernon Mondays. On Mount Vernon Mondays, we give updates from different departments and different divisions of the city of Mount Vernon so that our residents can get a better understanding of how municipal government works, who does what, who to call. And today we are focusing on one of the most important and essential and foundational departments in the city of Mount Vernon. You very rarely get to see them unless you're being hired or let go, but they are the Human Resources Department. And a strong Human Resources Department in municipal government is truly essential. It's not just an administrative function, but it is strategic, it is compliance-driven, service-oriented, and culture-shaping. And in a city like Mount Vernon, where public trust, union relationships, fiscal stewardship, workforce morale all intersect, HR must operate as both a guardian and a builder. And so today I'm proud to recognize the talented HR professionals who lead this work. Commissioner Tenille Peters has an MBA, as well as her HR certificate from Pace University. With 9 years of HR experience here in the city of Mount Vernon, she also is a SHRM member, as is the city. Lysandra Parker was educated at Cornell University with an associate's in diversity, business, and administration, and she has over 30 years of human resources experience. And then Jordan Hood has a bachelor's degree in international services and business administration, also and a minor in global supply chain work. And look, we need someone with a global understanding because talent recruitment is a global issue. And so these are the three dynamic women that make up our HR department. And so together, this team ensures that our workforce is supported, compliant, and positioned to serve the residents of Mount Vernon with excellence. And they're going to speak about them more, but the core, people think of HR and they just think of hiring, paperwork, and termination. But really, the core components are strategic workforce planning, civil service and legal compliance, labor relations, collective bargaining is something we also do. We have 4 unions. Recruitment and talent acquisition and retention, compensation and benefits administration. They work with the finance office, the controller's office in taking care of that. Training and professional development, performance management and accountability, risk management and employee relations. They work with our Division of Management Services around technology and data systems to ensure that our staff has the best tools to do their work. And then also really setting the foundation for culture and organizational climate, because HR really helps to shape the culture of City Hall. And what makes this HR department exceptional is their legal rigor in working with our law department, fiscal discipline, the ability to work with our unions, their executive partnership, strategic foresight, their emotional intelligence, and they're always ready to deal with the crisis because in municipal government, no day, no 2 days are the same. And so again, they play a critical role in ensuring that every employee in the city of Mount Vernon is equipped to serve you, the residents, with professionalism and pride. And so thank you for tuning in to Mount Vernon Mondays, and together we're building a stronger Mount Vernon. And with that said, I'm going to hand it over to our very, very capable HR commissioner, who has an amazing smile, but don't let that smile fool you. She is very strict, she is very data-driven, and she is very focused on ensuring that our staff have the tools to do a good job for the city of Mount Vernon. With that said, Commissioner Peters.
Good morning. My name is Tenille Peters, and I serve as the Commissioner of the Human Resources Department for the City of Mount Vernon. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for the opportunity to share an update on the work of the Human Resources Department and how it supports both our employees and the residents that we serve. HR is often behind the scenes, but it plays a critical role in how effective a city government functions. So what Human Resources does? Human Resources supports the people who serve the city every day. Our role includes recruiting and hiring employees, onboarding and orientation, training and professional development, workplace policies, compliance, and employee support. At its core, HR is about people, systems, and accountability, ensuring employees have what they need to get their jobs done well and serve the public effectively.
Building HR from the ground up, creating HR systems, new processes where none existed before, daily operations maintained, keeping services running smoothly while building systems, working with unions, collaborating with 4 active unions. The unions are the CSEA, the Teamster 456, the PBA, and the local UFFA, which are the Mount Vernon Fire Department. We focus on people and compliance, professional, fair, and sustainable practices. Our generations in our workforce are the baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, and Alpha. Our takeaway is as we service a diverse workforce of 1,332 employees across all generations, we bring diverse skills, experiences, and perspectives. So what are HR foundational practices? We've implemented citywide employee human resource HR employee handbooks, establishing clear and guidance for all our staff. We've standardized hire and interview processes, ensuring fairness and consistency. We streamlined HR documentation and procedures for accuracy and reliability, structured onboarding and offboarding for smooth employee transitions, and we've enhanced transparency and accountability through clear processes and expectations. We are a strong HR team and systems delivering fair, consistent practices, supporting employee growth, and strengthening the city operations to provide reliable, professional services to the community.
My name is Jordan Hood. I am the Secretary to the Commissioner for the HR Department. Last February, HR launched the city's first formal citywide orientation program for all new employees. This was an important milestone in creating a consistent and structured onboarding experience across every department. We developed this program collaboratively with our benefits specialists, payroll department, and management services because we identified these 4 areas as the key functions every new employee needs to understand when starting with the city. By bringing these teams together, we ensured that new hires receive accurate, comprehensive information from day one. The orientation provides a clear introduction to our city's culture, expectations, and standards of professionalism. It establishes a consistent message about accountability, service, and workplace conduct, regardless of department or position. In addition, employees gain a baseline understanding of essential policies, payroll procedures, and benefits. This reduces confusion, prevents delays, and allows employees to feel confident navigating their new roles. Ultimately, this structured approach improves employee readiness and engagement. When employees feel informed, welcomed, and prepared, they are better positioned to succeed, and that strengthens our city as a whole.
Leadership development, the leadership lens. Strong systems require strong leadership. To support this, we launched Leadership Lens, a professional development framework that was authored and implemented for commissioners and deputy commissioners. Leadership Lens focuses on accountability, communication, decision-making, and managing people through change. It has become a core part of how we develop leadership capacity across City Hall. There are various skills that leaders use to release their own and team's full potential. It shows you how to think and take action with a leadership approach and to look at yourself and the world around you with a leadership focus. So DC Parker is going to share with you 3 of her favorite lessons from the 12 lessons that we launched in this program.
One of the leadership lens that we talked about was the leadership mindset. It builds a strong foundation for growth, enables you to effectively motivate and guide your team, and it promotes a culture of continuous improvement. Building trust and credibility as a leader are essential for lasting leadership success. They require consistent action, clear communication, and a commitment to transparency and fairness. And the last one is, what is leadership? A good leader leads with integrity, self-awareness, and compassion for prioritizing trust, respect, and the well-being of their team. They put others' needs first and foster cooperation through resilience and courage.
Workplace training and culture are fundamental to maintaining a respectful and professional environment across all city departments. All employees complete mandatory annual sexual harassment prevention training to reinforce expectations about conduct and accountability. Departments such as DPW, buildings, police, and fire complete required annual trainings to ensure compliance, safety, and operational excellence. Our leadership team also completes required trainings to model accountability and reinforce expectations from the top down. We believe in supporting the overall well-being and development of our workforce. Each year, HR offers voluntary training opportunities to address emerging needs and support professional growth. Last year, we offered coping with traumatic events in the workplace for all employees, as well as managing trauma in the workplace, specifically designed for supervisors. These trainings recognize that many roles across the city involve high stress or challenging situations, and we want to equip our employees and leaders with tools to respond effectively and compassionately. Our training initiatives also encourage open communication and employee voice. These efforts create an environment where employees feel empowered to speak up, ask questions, and raise concerns. That transparency helps prevent issues before they escalate and strengthens trust across teams. Through ongoing education and leadership engagement, we are actively fostering a culture of respect, accountability, and professionalism throughout the workplace.
Global recognition, Harvard University. In September 2025, Mount Vernon was selected by Harvard University as one of only 15 cities from around the world to participate in the Managing Talent in City Government program. The city's application included our Leadership Lens framework, highlighting the work being done here to professionalize leadership and talent management. This selection reflects external recognition and the progress being made in Mount Vernon. What the Harvard program delivered. Through this Harvard program, the city gained a deeper understanding of talent management and as a strategic function. We explored best practices for recruiting, training, retaining, and supporting employees, participated in benchmarking and peer-to-peer consultation, and worked on city-specific workforce challenges. Most importantly, we brought these tools and insights back to Mount Vernon to continue building and elevating our HR functions and leadership capacity.
HR work has followed a deliberate progression for clear structure and better results. In 2024, we developed clear policies and expectation. Everyone understands the rules and standards. Strong HR systems, fair hiring, training, and performance management. Standardized processes, consistent, reliable service delivery, and transparency and compliance. Open communication following the law.
In 2025, our goal was centered on expanding training and professional development opportunities for all city employees. We understand that a strong organization begins with a well-supported and well-equipped workforce. By investing in our employees, we are investing in the long-term success and stability of the city. A key component of this initiative was strengthening leadership at every level. Our leadership team participated in targeted trainings focusing on enhancing management practices, strengthening coaching and mentoring skills, and improving overall leadership effectiveness. In addition, middle management training was provided for supervisors, foremen, and directors. These sessions were designed to equip frontline and operational leaders with practical tools to manage teams effectively, address workforce challenges, and support employee performance. By strengthening leadership capability, not only improves departmental operations, but builds consistency in how teams are managed throughout the city. We also prioritize development for our administrative staff through Administrative Support Committee. ASC creates a collaborative space where administrative professionals come together to share best practices, problem solve, support one another, and participate in professional growth initiatives. Currently, ASC members are participating in trainings offered through Westchester County to continue building their skills and expanding their expertise. By investing in both leadership and administrative staff, we are taking a comprehensive and collaborative approach to workforce development. These efforts strengthen management capability, support employees at every level, and ensure we are preparing our workforce to meet evolving operational demands and community needs. Through continued investment in training and professional development, we are positioning the city to remain adaptable, professional, and forward-focused.
Looking ahead to 2026, our focus will be on upskilling and workforce development. This means investing in skills-based training, preparing employees for evolving roles, and positioning the City of Mount Vernon as a competitive and forward-thinking employer.
So what does this mean? Better workforce, better services. Why does this matter to the residents? Higher quality service, faster, reliable, responsive service delivery, improved public safety, stronger emergency response, and infrastructure support, greater accountability and transparency, clear communication, stronger community trust, confidence in capable, committed public service. How does it strengthen our city operations? Faster response times and higher productivity, fewer errors and reduced costly rework, clear ownership with measurable results, efficient, consistent, and fair employee practices, and sustainable performance through training and accountability.
The Human Resources Department and personnel may not always be visible, but it's foundational to how the city operates. Building the department while continuing to manage daily HR functions has been a significant undertaking that I am proud of my team and the progress that we've made. We remain committed to strengthening our workforce, supporting our employees, and continuously improving how the City of Mount Vernon serves its residents.
Thank you. I want to thank Commissioner Peters, DC Parker, Jordan, Hood, for the work that they're doing. I mean, because this is really, really important work. As they say, they're not the people you see, but they are the people who are leading the investment in our workforce, and this is really important. I can tell you I worked for the City of Mount Vernon in 1995. I came back in 2016, and neither of those times were there formal onboardings, were there policies and practices and employee handbooks and things of that nature. A lot of the rules, the policies, the regulations were based on personalities and relationships and not necessarily standard operating policies and procedures. And so when I ran, one of the things that I said is I wanted to make sure that we were standardizing the way that we did work, the way that we interacted with our employees, and that we were not just focusing on investing in contracts or infrastructure around the city, But one of the greatest assets of our city, which are the people who deliver the work every day, we had to make sure we made an investment. And yes, there's been criticism because they're saying, oh, why are staff going to training and why are they traveling and why are we investing in our staff? Because if you don't invest in your staff, then how do you expect them to develop consistent and deliver consistent and quality services? And so for that, it was important. Another thing that was important was to kind of change some of the way that we did things. And so a few years ago, we implemented panel screening of resumes and panel interviewing, because that meant that the decision was in more than just one person's hands. And when you have diversity of thought and opinions around the table, then there is a much more rigorous process by which we hire people, where we support people, where we hold people accountable. And it was very interesting. People management, anyone who is an executive leader or a middle-level manager understands that people management is more important than the work itself. Managing people, leading people, keeping people on track, ensuring that morale and focus stays clear and directed is one of the most challenging pieces of the job. And so that is one of the other reasons why HR is so critically important. And I think I was sitting at a Harvard Cities Leadership and a Harvard actually, Cities Leadership training back in about 2022. And one of the things, it was late 2021, and it was really, really, really interesting. I was sitting in a room with 40 mayors from around the country, I think 26 from the US and 14 from countries outside and cities outside of the United States. And one of my colleagues from Canada continued to talk about the biggest challenge to him as a mayor was the weebies. And he kept using this term, weebie, weebie, weebie. And we were all looking around the room and going, well, what are the weebies? And he finally told us later on, he said the weebies are the employees who've worked and have been long-time civil servants and are the we were here before you and will be here after you. Right? And you've had people who have that attitude. I've worked through 4 mayors, I've worked through 5 mayors, and you can put in policies and practices and procedures, we'll just outlive you. And then we'll have another person and we'll outlive them. And that's not to say that people are bad. Sometimes they felt frustrated because they weren't seen, they weren't invested in, they didn't feel respected. And so we wanted to know how we could change that weebie attitude. How could we ensure that we're investing in our staff and making sure that that investment turns into better services and creating better systems to serve our stakeholders here in the city of Mount Vernon. And that is what we're striving for every day. And as we are training people, as we are implementing policies and procedures and standard operating practices, the one thing that we are also doing is now that we're investing in you, we're expecting to see a change. And I know that if you can't change the people, you have to change the people. And so we make sure that we have processes in place also for changing people who don't want to change. But we will continue to invest in our staff. We will continue to train. We will continue to travel as needed and responsibly to ensure that we are keeping up with all of the best practices in the region, in the state, in the national government, building relationships with our municipal partners throughout the region, throughout the country, to make sure that we are bringing better service delivery to the city of Mount Vernon. So again, I want to thank our small but mighty HR staff. When you're talking about 3 people who are doing the work to support a workforce of over 1,000 people. How many did you say it was again? 1,332, and across 5 generations, right? Across 5 generations. So we have staff here, even though they're part-time and sometimes seasonal, as young as 14 years old, and some staff who are, I'd say, octogenarians, 80, right? Some in administrative and clerical spaces. And so that is a very, very diverse workforce, and it takes diversity of leadership and investment to make sure that you are able to coordinate the work, the culture, the energy, and the differences of a 5-generation workforce. So again, thank you to our HR department. Mount Vernon, know that they are working hard for you, and we hope that you will continue to see the fruits of their labor because they are absolutely putting in the effort. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you next Monday for Mount Vernon Mondays, where the building department will be